This video is sponsored by Instant Gaming. Get cheap game time as well as other Warcraft products at affordable prices. Click the link in the description below to check it out. Hello guys, this is Doran's Movies, and today I'll be talking about G'huun and how powerful he is. Even though we currently know very little, I will cover the information that we have as well as offer some speculations. So without further ado, let's get into the lore. Many millennia ago, the Void Lords dispatched the Old Gods far across the universe. They plummeted into many planets and then started their operation of searching for the World Soul and ultimately corrupting it. Azeroth was one of the planets where they had encountered a nascent titan, and after conquering the entire planet and forming the Black Empire, they were very close to overtaking it and completing their mission. Luckily, the Titans intervened before that happened, starting a massive invasion purification campaign. It was really their first experience with these creations, but with the help of the Titanforged, they managed to defeat their servants and sooner or later the Old Gods. They killed one of them called Yasharaj, and there they realized that they had made a massive mistake. He was so deeply rooted that it seriously wounded the World Soul, making its blood pour from the wound. This would later become known as the Well of Eternity. Even though not fatal, it got very close to becoming fatal, which made them aware that they had to be very careful with this corruption. So, after overthrowing the Old Gods, they had imprisoned them, created various intricate facilities, machines and systems in order to keep them under control so that Azeroth would never be endangered by them again. Uldir was one of these facilities, once located near the center of the continent and now a part of Nazmir of the Zandalar Isle. Uldir was mainly a research station, also used for quarantine. Here, the Titans would conduct various experiments upon the imprisoned Old Gods, dissecting, analyzing, and trying to unravel what these creatures were. As these monstrosities were creations of the mysterious and very powerful Void, something very unexpected happened. During the procedures, they accidentally created the Blood God G'huun. He was not an original Old God, but an artificially created one under very mysterious circumstances. When the Titans realized what had happened, they immediately sealed away the horror with a very intricate system in order for it to never threaten Azeroth. They would create 3 seals within pyramids that would control this prison. This system worked for a very long time, but unfortunately with the recent as well as older events, much had changed. During the ancient Akira Troll War, one of the seals was destroyed, the second one was damaged by the Cataclysm, and the most recent one was destroyed under the campaign of the Blood Trolls. Blood Trolls were mainly the followers of Hakar, the Blood God, which is unrelated to G'huun, that wreaked havoc and nearly ruled over much of Azeroth. Eventually, after the fall of Hakar, they would begin worshipping G'huun, and seeing that he had no need for technology, they would regress to a more primitive state. Before breaking the final seal, G'huun was becoming more and more powerful, and therefore he would strengthen his followers and spread his influence. He began with taking over the Loa with a goal of replacing all of them. He corrupted the Loa of Bats, Hyrik, and even started wresting control over the souls of the dead from Bwamsamdi. Currently, the story is still going on, so it's uncertain what exactly will happen in the future. Now, with all this lore, how powerful is G'huun exactly? Well, that is very interesting as well as hard to currently answer. We don't have full information on him as of yet, but we do have a decent chunk of it. It was confirmed by Blizzard that G'huun is essentially an artificial Old God, but lore-wise is less powerful than the actual Old Gods. This of course does not mean that he is weak in the slightest, as Old Gods are very powerful creatures. G'huun was created from the essence of these monstrosities, and how he came to be was from the experiment of the Titans on the Old God, unending need to corrupt and constantly create chaos. They probed, exploited weaknesses, hoping to understand the Void. Seeing how complex this energy actually is as one of the building blocks of the universe, it was really no surprise that they did not learn much, and instead they unexpectedly created a perfect avatar of that desire. Gahun is a manifestation of the old god need to cause chaos, and is an avatar of rot, pestilence and decay, becoming an ultimate parasite. Essentially, he is the worst that the old gods have to offer, and that is a lot, as they are extremely evil creatures from the perspective of mortals. However, this does not mean that he is as powerful as they once were or as they currently are. It is important to note that the old gods spread their influence across Azeroth for a very long time as the Black Empire grew and expanded. So Gahun was only really created from their imprisoned versions and never really got the opportunity to flourish as he has now. He also doesn't seem to be as clever or manipulative with all of the whispers as Yogg-Saron or N'Zoth, for example, as it seems like he is more for brute force corruption. So, in conclusion, he is definitely weaker than the old gods, but more powerful than the Loa, still making him extremely strong. Unfortunately, unless we stop him, Gahun definitely has the potential to outgrow the old gods in strength if he frees himself and spreads his influence. Alright, and that is all I have for this video. Do subscribe as it really helps out and keeps all the content going. Thanks a lot for taking time out of the day to watch this video, and see you next time.